5 top tips for low budget lighting coming up. Hello and welcome to today's show. Here with me is Gaffer Simon Battensby.
Hello.
Simon will be letting us know his top 5 tips for low budget lighting. But first, here's a quick tutorial on 3-point lighting. 3-point lighting on low budget. Here we go.
Hi. Well, it's actually going to be no budget because we're going to do it with stuff you might just have lying around at home. So first thing we'll do, I think, is get rid of all the light in the room to see what we've got to work with. And then we can start to build it up rather than fight what's already here. So I'm going to turn the lights off. Shut the curtains. Okay, so since we're working with very little light and very little money, the strongest light we've got at the moment is daylight. So this will be our key light. Key light's normally the strongest light on the set, and it's the one that lights the actor, usually from the front or side front, to let the audience see what's going on. So that's our key light. I think we need a bit of a backlight on Jeff there, so put this one on. See what we've got. I don't think that's really doing enough, to be honest. It's giving him a rim light here, it's separating him from the background slightly, but we could do with a bit more. I've readied the office. I have a cheap home base angle poise that cost about 15 quid. So I think we'll go with that. I'm sure you have something like this lying around at home. That's going to give more of a rim light around him, a bit of three-dimensional modelling light on him. We'll just set that there. We try not to let it go on the background too much because obviously that's going to kill the mood if it's on there, so we'll try and keep it off there. That's quite nice and noiry if you wanted something sort of dramatic, but I think normally we'd have a bit more fill, so we need a light to balance the light coming from the key light, so we need fill in here. Now we could either use a white card or a reflector, or here is a cheap IKEA floor lamp, and that will give us a bit of fill light just on the side of the face here, so to balance from the key light. And there you have it, very simple 3-point lighting.
Next, top tips for low budget lighting. Well, I hope you liked that tutorial. I think it was very informative and I thought the model was great. Okay, so okay, Simon, what's your first tip?
First tip for low budget lighting would be to use tungsten. So start off with something like this, which is a good old-fashioned redhead. They're super bright, 800 watts of power zapping out of there, and they're very basic, but they still do a good job. You don't really want to use them directly pointing at your talent. You need to diffuse them, or you need to bounce them off something like a large white polystyrene, or even off the ceiling of a white room to get the effect you want, but they are a very useful source of cheap, powerful light. These, you can pick them up on eBay for 40-50 quid each. You might want to pay a little bit more because they do tend to fall to bits if you buy the very cheap ones, but that's the kind of ballpark figure. So this is similar to the redhead. It's a Fresnel lens on the end of it, which means that it can focus the light a bit more subtly. You get a nice spot or flood effect. Not quite so powerful. This is 650 watts, but still strong. So with the barn doors, you know, you can finesse the light a bit more. So you can see a bit of a shaft of light going on. A nice light to have.
So what are we looking price-wise for those?
I think a genuine ARRI light's about 250, something like that, 250 pounds. And they are a really good investment for a long-term use, so I recommend them, yeah.
If you had a choice between the redhead or the ARRI, would you just base it on what you can afford, or is it worth trying to save up a bit longer to get the ARRI lights?
Well, catch-22, isn't it? Because if you've got the lights, you'll probably be off the work. So I'd probably go for the redheads to start with, because they do most of the things the ARRIs do, and they are, you know, half or a third the price. So yeah, go for those. And the bulbs are only £8 each for a bulb that goes in a redhead. So yeah, good, plenty of value for money there. Well, next up would probably be actually a very simple thing. Whenever I go on set for a job, I always bring a bunch of practical bulbs. So these are bulbs that will go in something like a bedside light or a standard lamp in the background. So it's just literally your household bulbs. But I have them in a whole range of different wattages. some Edison screw ones, some bayonet fittings. The cheap, simple solution is buy these bulbs. If you can actually get the frosted ones, not the clear ones. These are from a job where we did need clear ones, but these will work a lot better and they'll just diffuse the light better through the lampshade, so I'd go for frosted.
What's the second tip, Simon?
Tip 2, with the LEDs are coming in big time now. They're good quality, they're expensive, and you won't be able to afford them because they're £300 to £400 each, so forget about those. I bought these, which are 25 quid from one of the online retailers, and they are a lithium-ion battery, rechargeable battery. They charge in 4 hours and they last for 3 hours, so it's amazing. On one charge, a little battery on the back there will power that light for 3 hours, so really useful. Bought them from a builder's merchants, in fact, and they just plug into the mains, you charge up the battery and then you're good to go. So yeah, useful.
Excellent. Tip 3.
Tip 3, strip lights. You can use expensive Kino flow lights, which are very good colour temperature, and they're used all the time in TV and film. But these are just, again, from the builder's merchants. These particular ones have been gelled up to be yellow because it was an effect we wanted. These are particularly useful ones because they're waterproof. They come in a plastic case. I mean, I wouldn't put them underwater, but they are, rainproof, so pretty useful outside. And again, not a lot of money. That was about 30 quid, I think. So yeah, really, really useful. And you can even have them actually in the shot because if you're in a garage or something, you would have strip lights hanging from the ceiling. You can just hang them up. They're very light as well, so you can hang them on. These are on cable ties, so you can hang them from an overhead beam or something.
Another really good alternative.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tip 4.
Frequently, it's all about making the background more interesting in the shot because a lot of dull places have to be filmed, and so you need to jazz them up a bit. So I find that Christmas lights are really useful. Use them all the time on shoots. Just a standard things you buy on Christmas. These are mains ones. They tend to be slightly brighter if they're plug in the wall rather than battery ones, but then battery ones are very useful if you need to be mobile. So bear them in mind. But they're great. You hang them in the background, as a festoon in a party scene, or teenage girl's bedroom, or wherever you're trying to achieve, and they just give a really nice out of focus circle of light. So they're useful. And again, very cheap. This was, 12 quid, something like that. So really worth getting a couple of sets and just keeping them in your back pocket.
And finally, tip 5.
Tip 5. Well, if you can't afford lights, get a reflector, because there's plenty of light knocking around usually, so just bounce it back. So for instance, this is a zippy one, so it pops out. I'm sure you've seen them on photo shoots 100 times. This one's silver white on one side and gold and silver on the other, which is, I think they call it sunfire, which gives a slightly warmer glow. I don't think you see it working on me, I'm not really sure whether I'm at the right angle, but very, very useful. So they do fold up fairly easily, but there's a bit of a technique to it, but once you've done it a few times you get it.
I can never do those things.
This is the Calumet one, so it's quite a good quality one. About 30 quid I think I paid for that.
Yeah.
Again, on eBay you'd probably get them for half that price. Just look for collapsible reflector. This is the cheapest of the lot, which is just a panel of insulation foam. So this is actually a Celotex brand, and it's like silver paper stuck onto urethane board, and you'll find lots of offcuts of this on building sites. It's got a nice kick on it, and one side's just plain, the other side's got the writing on, but use the plain side and you get a nice reflection, and it's surprisingly powerful actually. It's quite a good kick, so worth having one of those.
Excellent, thanks Simon. So that was Simon's 5 top tips for low budget lighting. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of these videos, then please subscribe down there somewhere, Simon. There we go. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.